So today I would like to talk about a topic that often comes up in the world of Oracle ERP implementation. And this happens especially when we are working with different types of clients. Some of them could be oil and gas, some of them could be financial services, some of them could be retail or consumer packaged goods and things like that. So when we talk about ERP, it is important to remember that it is not a one size fits all approach. Each business is unique, and therefore the ways we implement ERP could be tailored to their specific needs and workflows. As an example, you can take the chart of account segments. The chart of account segments for a retail company which is selling multiple brands and multiple products within this brand could be different from an automobile company, right? So we need to think about that. So to really understand what a client wants from an ERP system, it is essential to ask the right questions. Questions about their day-to-day business, the questions about the challenges they are facing, questions about the final goal they are trying to achieve. This will help us not only configure the ERP system, but also ensure that the solution will genuinely add value to make their operation smoother. So, if you have seen my generative AI playlist, I keep saying that we need to go beyond configuration. Configuration, yes, it's an important part of Oracle solution architect. But once that configuration happens, once the system is being used, once it generates the data, can that data be used gain insights? So you need to look at it that way. Okay, so these kind of things can happen only when you ask the right questions in the beginning of the project. Okay, so in my experience, asking the right questions early will uncover the most critical requirements that sometimes gets overlooked. So I'm thinking of sharing some of those insights, some of my thought processes with you, and that I will also be covering both the implementation process or methodology which I've used over the period of years, and some key questions which I've been focusing during the initial stages of the project. Okay. So as you know, there are already several workflow methodologies available like, waterfall and agile, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking specifically on, things like Big Bang approach. It is, are you going to implement everything together? Or you want to implement some phases in the beginning, some modules in the beginning. But if you do so, how will you continue business activity? Is that something you need to consider? So that sort of thing. Or there could be a phased rollout. We call it phase in, phase out. So slowly, a lot of things are happening in parallel. Then you plug certain functionalities out of the old system and put certain functionality back into the system. But keep the lights on the old system. That sort of thing. Or there could be a parallel adoption. So old system and new system running together. There could also be a hybrid approach, which combines everything. It combines a little bit of waterfall, it combines a little bit of agile, and Oracle also has given us OUM methodologies and things like that. Now, choosing the right methodology also requires asking the right questions to understand the client's specific goals, and we need to know what their daily operations are. We call it DILO, day in the life of, and any key challenges they are facing. So, I'm thinking of sharing all my experience on how these questions will reveal what your client actually wants. Okay. But before I go into that detail, I want to hear from you. Do you think this kind of content will be helpful? Because the main thing is this will not have any application configuration. I'll not be showing you any application configuration, just like I have been showing in all my playlists so far. So if there are any new listeners, please note that so far in all my playlists, I have been going into the application directly and I've been starting the configuration, except one or two initial sessions to give you a little background. I've never used any PowerPoint slides unless it is really needed because I've tried to be more hands on. But this particular session will not be like that. This one has to be a little more on the discussion side. So I just wanted to check with you guys if you are okay with that. If you find that thing valuable, then let me know in the comments. But if you think it's not going to add any value to you and you want to continue just looking at the configurations, that is also fine with me. So that way I can focus my time and effort towards that. Okay. So let me know. So instead of sitting and, planning around what I'll be doing next, I thought I should ask you because I already have multiple playlists in progress. We have the supply chain for finance, which is in progress. We have project accounting. It's also happening in parallel. And recently, which I've started on the revenue management. That is also something which is going to continue. So I'll be continuing this. But in addition to that, I'm thinking about this particular playlist. But do let me know what you feel because if you think it's not a value add, then I will definitely not use my time into that. So let me know. I'm looking forward to your feedback. Thank you.